Today I'm going to be working on a Sony receiver, model STR-D365. The problem with this is you turn on the power, all that happens is the LED on the volume knob comes on, nothing else. You can hear the relay click. Now before I even take the top cover off, I see a problem. These four little white rings right centered over the vents here. That tells me that somebody had a CD player or tape deck or VCR, some of the components sitting right over the air vents. That's not good. Receivers like this put out quite a bit of heat in operation, and if you block the vents, it's going to cause damage after a while. So I'm going to get the top cover off and see what's going on. Okay, I've got the top off the receiver now. The first thing I found was this blown fuse. This is a 5 amp fast blow. And where that was installed, it was in that little holder right down there behind the transformer. Another thing I found with my ohm meter was that the back pair of output transistors are shorted from collector to emitter. So somebody probably overloaded the speaker outputs, or there's something else going on. Sometimes they die just from overheating, like I was saying with somebody putting blocking the vents on the top cover. That's not good for the transistors either. But what I'm going to do first is take the shorted transistors out and replace the fuse and see if the receiver powers up normally with one good channel. And I'm going to take some readings. Using the oscilloscope, I'm going to probe the base leads of each transistor and make sure that the proper signal is going into each one. That'll tell me if there's any problems with the pre-driver circuit, because if there is, it's just going to blow the new transistors as soon as I put them in. So I got to try and get the circuit board out, get those transistors off there, and do some more testing. Well, I flipped it over and found that they give you a nice access panel on the bottom, so I might be able to get these transistors out without removing the circuit board after all. See if I can unsolder these bad boys now. Can't do this. There's one. There's two. There's three. Boy, it's hard to do that with one hand. Okay, we're up and running now after changing that faulty pair of transistors. I'm using genuine OEM parts. I'm not using the cheap generic replacements. Should always try and use the genuine stuff whenever possible. And also, this unit looks like it has good quality capacitors in it for the most part. They're all Nichicon VX, and the main filter caps are Nippon Chemicon, so this should last a while. It's not that old, and I'm sure all the caps are still fine. But anyway, on the input side I have my function generator supplying a 1 kHz sine wave, which is the standard for testing audio equipment. And on the output side, there's a pair of 8 ohm 300 watt resistors that I use for dummy load, and it's also connected to my multimeter and my oscilloscope. So what I'm going to do, using my multimeter, which is true RMS, I can use that voltage in my calculator and Ohm's law to find the actual wattage coming out of the receiver. Okay, on the scope here we see the 1 kHz sine wave. And what I'm going to do is bring up the volume until just below the clipping point. Okay, we're clipping there. Let's back it down so it's nice and clean. Right about here. Okay, now what do we have on the meter? We'll just call this 30 volts. Give us a little more headroom for clean power. I have 30.4 volts right now, so we'll use 30 for our calculation. Turn the volume back down so I don't overheat it. Now, first I'll find the amps. I equals E darn glare over R of 8 ohms. Gives me 3.75 amps. And then power, or wattage, equals voltage times amps. So we go 3.75 times that 30 volts again. I get 112 watts per channel, which It means they rated this receiver pretty accurately. 100 watts per channel is what it's officially rated at. And when you account for headroom and transient peaks, like say a loud bass drum or something, you want to have a little bit of extra headroom there, which explains why I can actually measure 112 watts of clean power before clipping. I don't like how warm the heatsink is running in this receiver. In fact, I can't even really keep my fingers on it. So I'm going to double check and make sure there's no problems with the bias circuitry or anything like that. It may just be the way the receiver's designed. I know my 5.1 Sony receiver runs pretty hot too, but this seems a little overboard. I'm going to play around with this for a little bit, see how it holds up, and maybe I'll try some music through it. Okay, it's time for the final test before I put the cover on. It's running much cooler now. In fact, it's about at room temperature. I think it was just a lot of work to drive the dummy load at maximum power like that, because it's not even warm anymore. But I figure either way, after that stress test, if it held up to that, it's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna try some music. And once again, I want to thank Matthew Ebel for letting me use his music on my YouTube videos. It's really nice because they're not going to mute that, and it's, you know, good stuff to boot. So here we go.
They got the money, we got the shaft. They got the trust fund, we're just second class. They're kissing babies, we're still kissing ass. As long as they got the money, we gotta make it last. They got the money, we got the bills. They're popping champagne corks, so we're popping pills. We're headed towards black holes, what they had for the hills. As long as they got the money, we gotta have the will. They got the money, we're in the hole. They got the numbers, but we get crowd control. They get around, but we're just going round the bowl. As long as they got the money, we better have the soul.
It's coming out of my laptop speaker too. That's funny. But so far so good. I'm going to throw the top cover on and listen for a few hours and see how it goes. But if it's all well, I'm probably going to end up putting this on eBay. Thanks for watching, guys, and next up I've got some other projects. A couple LCD TVs. I got this plasma TV I got to finish here, so watch out for more as I got time to work on it.